The way of interacting with them, the younger generation, when I say young, it's anybody who is 10 years younger than me, right? Okay, is very different. Okay, it is no longer face-to-face communication. It is no longer, one-to-one interaction, right? It is increasingly through the cloud, right? You communicate through Facebook, you communicate through LinkedIn, you communicate through email, right? You have webinars, right? And why? Because the audience on the other side, that has become their way of life. Okay? The way they interact on their personal levels and the personal lifestyles is all using the net, using technology, using smartphones, right? Email is ho-hum. I mean, you're old if you're using just email. If you're not using WhatsApp, right? You're not there. Okay? And for all of you who are from an older generation, if you are still figuring out how to use email, your history. Right? And if that is the way your HR processes and systems are, okay, there's a huge disconnect between your employee base and yourself, between your potential employees and yourself. And this is not just in the new economy. Okay? This is also in the old economy. You want to hire a youngster as a stores assistant in Guntur, he will know YouTube, he will know Skype, he will be far more interactive on that than you are. And that's how you interact. Okay? Recruitment obviously has gone into this space, right? But I believe also the matchmaking has also started to use all these technologies. Right? So, unless you as employer recognize this fact that the aspirations are very different, okay, it is going to keep increasing. Salary structures, what we have seen in the last 5 years is going to be nothing compared to the changes that we probably are going to see in the next decade. Okay, as the per capita income crosses $1,000, the next 10 years, take it across the board in the last 50, 60 years across countries, you've seen the 1,500 hitting $7,500 on an average in 1 decade. Okay, so what we have seen is the last decade is just going from $350 per capita to $1,000. All right, 1,000 to 7,500, probably a 700-800% increase in salary structures is what we can look forward to in the next decade. And you've got to get used to that. Figure out how that's going to happen. What is the impact of that on the business? If you take typical P&Ls of the old economy, the distribution, manufacturing type organizations, the people cost, okay, for a 200 crore company will probably be about 6%, 8% for a manufacturing type organization. For a trader type organization, it's probably 2-3%. All right. For a knowledge-based economy, for a services-led economy, or a business, it's probably about 60%. Right? If it's more than that. Now imagine that 60% of your revenue in the next 10 years you project a 700% growth rate. Okay? Is your business going to grow at that rate just to stay where you are? That's the challenge that business is going to have. So what's the problem? The challenge is, how can you do much more with less? We've all got used to an economy where I can hire an abundance of people to do pretty mundane jobs. Okay? You've got to start seeing productivity going up dramatically. So you've got to manage your people better. Okay? This is the business challenge that is going to be facing you. And so when, as I see, most of the audience are not the business owners, they are employees in the HR space. Today, you are, from a cost perspective, somewhere down in the probably 4th or 5th in the order of priority as far as a businessman is concerned. Because he is worried about collecting cash from the customer, business. He is worried about power. He is worried about material cost. right? Those are bigger numbers. Equipment, real estate, those are bigger numbers, and that's where the money is. And people are given. Yeah, I hire key people. As long as I am within that 60 plus or minus 1 or 2%, it doesn't matter. That's how they look at it. But in the next 4 or 5 years, this is going to become way up there as a business challenge for most businessmen. Okay. There's huge skill gaps between today's educational system and the need of the hour. Right? I think no need to talk about it. Just to give you some numbers, what I understand is in the next decade, we're going to have more than 130 million unemployable youth being churned out by our educational system, right? And we're going to need those people doing work, right? And our businesses will find those people completely unemployable. So what's that going to mean? That's going to mean all of us as HR professionals, as businessmen, will have to start becoming training centers. Okay? There is no way somebody is going to give you a trained, employable a person. Right? No educational institution is going to give you that. So you have to invest in employee skills. Right? And it's continual. It's not just at the entry level. It's going to be every 6 months. People will come, you train them, they will leave. Out of 10 people, 8 people will leave. That's a fact of life. Live with it. Okay? Why? Because the cost of retaining those 2 people or 3 people out of the 10 is probably going to be far lower than the cost of hiring 10 new people. This is the business case for HR. It's no longer a nice to have, it's no longer, good stuff, it is imperative. Okay? You have to increase the span of control of your supervisors, your managers. You cannot have overheads of 20-25% that we today are comfortable with. Okay? Your 60% employee cost, if you take for a knowledge economy, if you carve out the supervisors, the managers, the senior executives, okay, what will be that percentage as compared to the people who are actually doing the job? I would say it's 50-50. Probably 50% of your employee cost in an organization is the cost of the managerial or the supervisory labor, which is basically overheads. Okay? You've got to cut that out. That's the only way. You have to get people to do more of workers and less of overheads. Okay? And so therefore, the levels of hierarchy which people are used to will go down. Right? So therefore, if you're going to do all this, how can you do it? How are you going to increase the productivity, reduce the overheads, manage the change, manage all this without information technology? There's no way. Okay? If you look at accounting or finance, typically IT has always been under finance. The finance manager has taken care of himself. Okay? The chartered accountant has taken care of himself by adopting IT to reduce the people dependence. Okay? A chartered accountant 20 years ago used to have a huge pool of what were called articled clerks, okay, being paid slave labor to do all the auditing. Right? Today, those articled clerks don't exist. How does he manage? He has used IT. He has used some accounting package and increased his productivity. Same thing with the accounts department. Okay, the whole big army of accountants entering into ledgers is all gone because it's now one person managing it for the whole business. Even that is outsourced. Okay? Same thing is going to happen with HR. Today, mostly in most businesses, HR is restricted to payroll. The IT element of HR is restricted to managing the right? And again, the reason for that is not because it's required for the business or it's good to have, as Sanjay said. It is more because of statutory requirements to make sure that you're complying with all the laws. And again, that is driven by not HR department but by the finance department, because that's payroll. Okay? The challenge for implementation of IT in any business, okay, is not the product, is not the technology, is not the functionality of the solution, because these are all given. These are available now, right? You have decades of experience which have gone into building of these products. But the physical processes in your own organization for all these, are they in place? When you talk of life cycle management of an individual, what are the processes for recruitment? What are the processes for induction? What are the processes for training, for appraisals, right? For exits? Are these physically in place? And I dare say, in many organizations, I'd say the majority of the organizations, these are not in place. Okay? So what happens? People tend to start using software as the tool to put these processes in place, right? And the expectation is, okay, I don't have all these processes, but I will go and invest in this software, and bingo, these processes will happen, all right? This is the thinking in most businesses. And so the expectation is the software developer or the software vendor should be able to manage my change and help me implement all these physical processes. Okay? From a cost perspective, you go to any local solution vendor, and there are a dime a dozen of these vendors available who can quote to you any type of price point that you feel is available. Do they have the domain expertise? No. Okay? They'll tell you, tell me what you want, I'll build it for you. Okay? There are quite a few high-end HR solutions available today. Right? People have been using it, all the large enterprises use it. Look at them, they're more expensive. And as HR professionals, when you go and present these as options to your management, to your business owners, the first reaction is going to be, listen buddy, I have other fires to burn, my cash is required there. Okay? This is nice to have, we'll worry about it later. Park it. Continue with what you're doing. Okay? Most organizations are excellent companies. They use Microsoft Excel. So continue using Microsoft Excel. Okay? All right? So this is where, if you want to start using these solutions, the need is clear. You need to start using it. The management says, no, I don't have the money to invest. Okay? Cloud computing, pay as a use model, etc., has all become today a given. Okay? So to summarize, I would like to, as a professional in this space who's been around for a while, before you start doing anything, okay, let's figure out what you want to be 3 years from now. Where is your organization going to be 3 years from now? Okay. Does the management, does the owner know what is going to be his business, his P&L, his cost of people, the percentage of the cost of people cost to his revenue, the numbers? Put that down. I'll guarantee you it will be huge. 3 years would literally mean doubling the cost of your people as a percentage of your revenue. Whatever you are doing today, please take it from me, twice that will be the cost 3 years from now. Okay? In rupee terms, in percentage terms. Right? If you do that, and you recognize the need for span of control, and you recognize the need to institutionalize the HR process, okay, I think it's a no-brainer. Your investment in IT is a must. Okay? So your challenge is convincing the business owners, convincing the investors, convincing the top management that this is not a nice to have, but it is a must. Okay? Please do not waste time, energy, money on what is called bespoke development. I have 30 years experience in this space. I know much more than any product developer. I will hire a bunch of software